I'm sure you've all heard the word before. Ragebait. A word thrown around in the gacha space more than a basketball is thrown around in the NBA. But what does it mean to ragebait? As the famous philosopher Socrates once said, to ragebait is to bait rage, and to bait rage is to be an asshole. But why is ragebaiting such a bad thing for the gacha community? Let's find out. To really understand why, we have to go back. How do you ragebait? Ragebaiting is commonly done by evoking anger or an emotional reaction from someone by insulting something they don't like, or perhaps even insulting that person that they don't like. And contextually, it can be done in both a joking and serious manner. It can be done by calling someone's favourite game a Guna piece of trash that will end of service in a month, or to simply repeating what someone said in a silly voice.
I repeated what someone said in a silly voice.
But now that we understand how it's done, why is it done? When gacha games receive an update, people are occupied. A week then passes, people start to complete everything in the patch, and people start to get bored. The game's hold on these players begins to slip, and their attention may go wandering elsewhere. Now, any normal person would either play something else, or just simply do something else. But of course, we all know by now that gacha tribalism is more powerful than Thanos with all 6 Infinity Stones. And just like Thanos snapping his fingers, half of people's brains get erased. They then go and boot up Twitter or Instagram, any social media, find posts of a game that they don't like, and they begin posting quote tweets, replies, again and again. Each of these posts and replies basically trying to provoke the members of the other community into responding emotionally. And usually they do, because of course they will. They want to defend their favourite game. And when they do, this gives the original poster a feeling of validation. They think that people are actually listening to what they have to say in some delusional fashion. But in reality, it's not listening, it's just creating animosity, pitting communities against each other, all in the name of ragebait. But of course, why is this a problem now? It's been going on for ages, since the dawn of time. Even outside of games, we've had communities going against each other. For example, Xbox versus PlayStation, iPhone versus Android, Ronaldo versus Messi. But the problem we are seeing now is the frequency of these ragebait posts. You cannot go online without seeing it anymore. And when you actually begin to read it all, the line between ragebait and criticism begins to blur. You genuinely end up having no idea what to trust anymore. And I'm seeing more and more people fall for ragebait thinking it's actually real. And when people think it's real, they get a false narrative in their head that another community thinks XYZ of their community, when in fact they don't, because it was a ragebait post. So what can be done to stop this? How do you stop this self-destruction of these communities? The first and really only rule of countering ragebait is to not give it attention. You could perhaps even argue that this video is actually feeding into this, because technically I am giving these ragebaiters attention. However, I hope this video can actually do more good than harm, and basically make people aware that these ragebaiters should just be ignored, and the communities might be better off from doing that. Now, of course, some people have varying IQ levels, or have a lower emotional understanding, or might not even have English as their first language. Some people cannot tell between ragebait and genuine criticisms. And if you are one of those people, let me ask you this. Does a post that you see online evoke an emotional response from you, an urge to type something in retaliation? If the answer is yes, well, it's probably ragebait nowadays. Let's be real. If you feel that the take that that person is giving is way too outrageous, it most likely is ragebait. And if it isn't, well then, I guess they're just stupid, aren't they? And once you stop giving these attention to these people that have no life, they will eventually die off. The people that exist solely to get reactions from others will fall into obscurity. Wait, I said obscurity. Oh shit! Now, of course, ragebaiting itself isn't a bad thing. It can even be good in moderation. It can even be considered as some form of low level of breeding competition, which is actually healthy for gacha communities. So just like most things in life, when you have it in moderation, it's good. When you have too much, it's not good. Another aspect of Ragebait that I actually wanted to point out was the sort of cyclical nature of it, and it's expanding on this false narrative idea. When someone posts a Ragebait, someone may take it the wrong way. They may think, oh, that's actually how the original poster, thinks. So then they get this false narrative, and then they retaliate with something real. This real retaliation might be considered as Ragebait as well. It's very cyclical because this line between actual genuine posts and Ragebait becomes more and more blurred with more people that post Ragebait. It is a sort of self-eating serpent in a way, and perhaps it is never-ending. Perhaps there is no way to stop it, but we can at least breed a somewhat healthier community rather than being at everyone's necks all the time because of a chain reaction from one person that had too much time on their hands and just wanted to piss a few people off. Of course, I'm not saying that we should all live in peace and harmony. I'm not saying that we should all be all nice to each other. That's really not possible. But what I am saying, really, is that some people should just not have access to the internet. And those people, we need to just treat it like they don't. Just ignore them. Now, personally, I am, of course, a Wuthering Waves creator, but I won't sit here and say that Genshin fans, or Star Rail fans, or any other fans are the only ones guilty here, because the majority of gacha communities do it towards each other, and perhaps they even do it towards themselves as well, which is not really that healthy, is it? This perpetual cycle inside of these own communities, devouring it from the inside. I've seen way too many examples of it recently, with the anniversary discourse and with the censorship discourse and the comparing waves discourse in the Wuthering Waves community itself. Of course, I'm not calling for a ceasefire. I'm not calling cease all hostilities. I'm just saying, guys, think before you post, because the amount of outrageous takes I've seen online and people believing them, it's not healthy. It really isn't. And if you are planning on responding to these Ragebait posts, just call them out for being Ragebait. Just say 0 out of 10 Ragebait, because that gets them. They know that they've done a horrible job in Ragebaiting, and it pisses them off even more. But thank you all so much for tuning into this little expose video. Did you guys like it? It's a different form of video to what I usually do, but I did want to talk about it and sort of shed light on what's going on right now, because the reason why I go online anyways is to see reactions of things, not to see people Ragebaiting each other, whether that be from the wuwa community or from the Genshin community. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's all low-level, emotional, evoking bullshit, really. If you guys have any suggestions to combat this plague, then let me know in the comments. Let me know if I've missed out on anything or anything that you guys want to be voiced. Just leave it in the comments below, and I'll try and respond to everything. And yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye for now.